If we believe every story that was put out here, somebody in somebody's religion did something wrong that the rest of the human race has to pay for. Okay? I don't care if it's Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus. I don't care. Somebody did something. In Christianity, we say the apple was 8. Okay? Now, I've been studying it, and it really meant the apple was really the snake that was really a man, and he stood tall as the book read, and then he got cast to slither on the belly like a snake. So it really won't Eve was messing with a snake, because I was kind of confused. Eve, that's bestiality. What did you find enticing about the snake and the man is walking right there 2 feet in front of you? That didn't make no sense in my grown age. In my younger age, dag Eve, why are you talking to the snakes? What did he say? Potamus tongue? What did Harry Potter say? Parcel tongue. Dag Eve, you on parcel tongue, sir? Like before they had it? Nah, Eve, you playing with me. So I'd already knew then, you know what I'm saying? When I was in my grown age and they told me, hey, it's wordplay. You know what I'm saying? That's how the people deceive you when it comes to religion and faith and spirituality. That's why religion could be indoctrination. You know what I'm saying? Faith and spirituality is something totally different. Where 2 or more are gathered, it's always a good time. That's all I'm going to say. I don't care. And this is why I speak in total world life, because the sayings can go each way. I can go on the street and say the same thing I can say in the pulpit. Okay? So everybody understand the word that is coming through me that needs to be told. So this had to be something that was walking upright that enticed Eve that we keep missing. It got to be something upright. Because God said cast down on belly and turn into snakes. So whatever was upright. Funny, because we got to Adam. What else was upright? Dinosaurs? What else was upright? Somebody tell me. So what I learned was it had to be another 2-legged creature. So we're going to assume it was another man. So it won't just Adam and Eve in the garden. You see why religion becomes indoctrination. So you just have to rely on your faith and your spirituality. God will find you in any way he or she deems that they're going to find you. Why I say that? Because I always say, I first found my God, the one that sits over everybody, and we just have different names, and I believe in the pi philosophy from Christianity. But somebody had to take me somewhere to make me think higher than myself to even wonder who it could be so I can have choices. You see? If I had none of that, the universe and God would be sitting here. God be playing the worst type of chess match against himself, because how he even going to get me the message? He ain't got to tell me what to do. He giving me left or right. The devil ain't got no lines. Okay? And understand, the debate. This is the crazy thing. The debate is always who God is and what name God goes by. How many apostles they do in X, Y, and Z, right? Watch me work. How many X, Y, and Z? The debate is never on which version of the devil is real. The debate isn't never on, like on this side, Muslims believe there's Allah and Muhammad. On this side, you got Christianity, Catholicism, which believes in God and Jesus, just how they're deciphered. Christianity is so broad. It's one of the most broadest organizations with sub-factions based on various different things. How to move, how to act, how to eat, how to live, how to die, how to marry, how to divorce, how to have babies. Christianity can be so controlling, and it's Christianity and Catholicism. Muslim can be so controlling, it's almost like they're scared. So all of these things, for me, I feel like he comes to us in the ways that we can understand. So I found him through Christianity. That's A. So by finding him through Christianity, the language I'm speaking is English. The things that I understand by what I'm taught is based on this land. All right? So when we try to go out and colonize through religion, I never understand that. Missionary work was something that was really, you got to go with the times, okay? We ain't got but so much space on the earth, all right? if they ain't heard about a religion, leave them people alone, because evidently it's one you don't understand, and you gonna get shot like them folks keep trying to go to that island. Leave them people alone. Okay? In all the years, God didn't make you the most smartest and wise. He put so many different ways out here. He or she, and I love to say that, because if we say the spirit is unformed, then I don't know why we keep trying to put agenda on God. It just makes no sense to the people that's trying to teach me in this lifetime, okay? So, if you go out here, and the reason I switched to God is in a he is because that's the terminology I was indoctrinated and taught in. So it's just easy to flow that way. But please understand, I mean the universe, God, the one above, all of that. Allah, Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, everybody, Mother Earth in the heavens. I mean everything, okay? In any realm you believe in, please eat my meat and spit out the bones. In the most humblest of ways, eat my meat and spit out the bones about the conversations I have that come out of my mouth that you choose to listen to, bothering me, that I'm just putting out to make sure I don't forget nothing in my old age. That's all. I don't care about your opinions or XYZ. Best believe I've studied my craziness and psychoness for years. I'm 20 plus years studying myself. I might be certified to y'all, but God know I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why he keeping me alive, because I could have been gone so many times, but an angel was walking around me. So when I'm talking, please eat my meat and spit out the bones. Okay? Because it's nourishment either way. Either way is nourishing to you. But you so funny acting because you never had nothing. You never knew about spices. So I done put some salt and pepper on it just a little bit, and you done lost your mind. Or you over spicy, so you don't know what just mild out and just savor the taste mean like. I'm trying to meet y'all in the middle. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. Respectfully. Pause. All right, so I didn't grow up in India. He couldn't talk to me through that language. I didn't go up in Tibet. He couldn't talk to me through that language. I didn't grow up in Iraq. He couldn't talk to me through that language. I didn't grow up in Russia, Iran, Greenland, Rome, Paris, whatever that is. I didn't grow up there. He couldn't talk to me in that language. I don't speak Pakistani. I don't speak French. I don't speak Italian. I don't speak Islamic. Any which way you can say it, I don't speak it, won't work braised up in it, can't even understand the books it was written. So why would he talk to me in that language? You communicate in the language of which people can understand when you're trying to relay something, when you want them to understand something, when you want them to join something. I can't go up in a CEO office talking like I'm from the street. I can't go on the street talking like I'm from the hills. Like, come on. You got to metamorph, and all this keeping it real, and I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that, make it make sense. You grow up, you evolve. So if I'm 10 toes down 100 since the day I die, I was born like this, I'm going to stay like this, stay like that over there. Because I grew. I went through too much to stay like I was at 17. I got kids. I got value. I got stuff I'm trying to do. Okay? At certain points, you got to grow. But you also got to recognize that you did grow. You can't sit and invalidate the fact that you had a life and you went left and you should have been right, because that's where your lessons was learned. How are you going to tell me about anything if you ain't never had a journey? How are you going to tell or resonate with me about anything, talking down to me, and as we started this mansplaining, if you ain't lived in my universe? And then you got to understand that everybody's universe is their universe. You didn't grow up in Petersburg, Virginia. Okay? You grew up in California and not in no area that even looked like Petersburg. We talking about 2.5. We on different levels. I can't understand what y'all go through. Y'all didn't even know milk and eggs had went up. I can't get mad at that. That was the life you had lived. And even in that, God still moves and uses them on their level. Everybody has a level or path they chose. Everybody is either reincarnated, stayed up there, you turn into it. I don't know. Whatever you believe in, best believe you believe it is going to happen, because God is omnipotent. God is a miracle worker. God is so, if I'm a genius, he's super times a genius. So if I could think way outside the box, if the most autistic child can draw you a picture and paint you words that make you just dream in beautiful colors, why do you limit God to just developing the earth? Why do you limit God to just believing you're the only species here on earth? Why you limit God to just believing your opinion is everything? It's like you contradict the faith of what you subscribe. And at any level, at any faith, you can put it across the board. That's what you do. So for me, I lived a life where he'd be talking to me weird. Me and Big Bro Jesus and Muhammad and be arguing because I'd be like, get daddy. Because I think I'm right, but these people down here telling me I'm crazy and wrong, but it just makes sense to me. Okay? It just makes sense. So when you look at it, in the beginning for Christianity, we were told Eve bit the apple that the serpent told him to bite. But I'm confused because it specifically says, and this is why comprehension should be important, and they should really invest in education, and critical thinking should be important, and they really should invest in education, and taking the time to learn how people learn is important. You should really invest in the education, because that simple thing that's in the Bible that you can't ban, okay? You can't ban the Bible. And unlike the red Bible that man in office and put his name on and put all types of stuff in, this is why you got to read all the versions of the Bible. You don't know what you're getting. And this is why you got to pay attention to everybody talking to you from the Bible. You don't know how they interpreted it. That's why you got to follow up. You need to get your meat and spit out the bones. Maybe that was just supposed to be a messenger to pat you on the shoulder to put an idea in your head. Stop trying to take everything they said for solid gold and putting them on the pedestal like they don't sit on the same pot in that bathroom you do. It just don't make sense to me. So by my recollection, he was the serpent. God did to the serpent, because everybody got punished, you know. And women folk, we in pain. Men folk, y'all wasn't on watch with your girl. Your girl was messing with another man, came and tried to get your girl. And she fell for it. So now she having kids and in pain, and you got to work for it, because I don't know what you was doing. If it was one more man in the garden, was it one more female? Was it one more female, Adam? What was you doing? How did that man know where to find Eve? Why wasn't you with Eve the whole time? She just naked out here? Just a slanging and swinging. You just got Eve out by herself, Adam? Like, Adam. Because already you tried to convince me, because God dang it, men, y'all tell a lie. You tried to convince me that my great ancestor then went up and was out here in these streets, got all these men folk on the ground blaming us because y'all refusing to take responsibility. I tell you, when you figure out healing, and I always say healing go back. Normally it goes back to parents, but daggone it, now we done figured out it go all the way back to the greats. All the way back to the greats. They great. Everybody, if we believe in whatever philosophy, and I'm speaking in Christianity, I got to do my research on everything else to put it in your terms. That's why I said eat the meat and spit out the bones. So look at who your prophet was, who your person was, and then y'all reevaluate. You know, as they say, do your history and keep going back, read, recheck, review, first draft, second draft, third draft, then draft again, you know, spell check, and y'all too busy on Chat GPT and AI letting the computers think for you. Now you don't even know how to do comprehension and critical skills. Because all I'm trying to say is this one thing. It said he was cast down on his belly. So was it standing? When did the snakes get legs? Lord, the snakes had legs. What kind of leg did they have? Lord, see, you done messed me up. You done messed me up with that. So that leads me to believe that this was a walking upright individual. Was it a centaur? You know, they're mythical, because you got to think about everything all of these things go together though. All right? If you're in Egypt and stuff, you're used to that culture. So you have different mythological things. If you live in Africa, you definitely have different mythological things. If you're a Native American, you definitely have mythical theological things. Christianity, everybody has mythical theological things. God is omnipotent. He is amazing. He creates planets. Why do you believe that as humans, we are the only creature? Why? Because you read the Bible wrong? Because Lucifer and them got mad? Read it correctly. They said He's created so much that we deem to be amazing. Why are y'all hairless little beasts so special? That means we're low on the totem pole. He definitely had these things out here. He probably annihilated them. For whatever various reasons they took themselves out. Then he got to us and he put everything in the pot. He got to us and was like, I think I finally got the formula to make this work for real. He took away some of our powers, but gave us better powers. He curved our edges and made us smoother so that we can understand that there's beauty in the roughness. He did these things so that he can say, I think I got it. This is the baby of the group. So your older brothers and sisters and other beings out here got mad. People over here arguing about aliens. The Earth being one of the youngest planets, you really over here thinking the other planets don't got life. Y'all can kiss my booty. For real. Because that's insane. It's asinine. Why are you so egotistical with that? It makes no sense to me. So he has to talk to us in the language of which we understand. Eve was messing around. But Adam was already out here. Because if it was walking upright and it fell on the belly, what was it? And it turned into a snake. Man now has to work hard because you were sleeping on the job. Woman got to bear the responsibility of the kids because he was sleeping. But ma'am, be smart. We in the kingdom. You going to mess up the money. Messing up the church's money. Because you can work hard all day. You got somebody messing up the church's money. You cancel Christmas. They taking it with them when they leave. So it's a balance. And you can't be in the house. And you definitely can't tell the house what to do if you got to take care of the outside. And you better want somebody that can do both because you might need a break outside and she can pick up and do outside for you if you could just do what you think is easy and sit in the house. But I bet you won't want to sit in the house. See, the woman can sit in the house there and go outside. And we wrestle with that. That's why we love y'all. We love y'all. We understand y'all was traumatized from way back when Adam cheated. And you had to wait. And he got what he was, looking for when he lost track of his wife and she was out here. He was devastated. You know how men folk do. You slept with him whole time. This man been trying to get close to Eve. Eve's smart. He ain't just walk up on Eve like a stranger. Hey, Miss Ma'am, can I get it? Eve ain't dumb. Eve ain't dumb. She came from you, Adam. Y'all smart as I don't know what. Y'all just got comfortable and got sleeping on the job. Like a lot of people marriages when they be trying to lock them down into these strange situations. Understand if you ain't doing what you doing, supposed to be doing like how you got her, you're going to lose them. And how you got him, you going to lose them. Okay, if they like that bedroom to rock and you was rocking it in the beginning and then after you get married, you start losing up, you going to lose them. And that's on you because that's how you got them. If you was being loving and compassionate and caring about their jobs and what they doing and the kids, and then when you get married and later on you start acting like a booty hole, you're going to lose them. You got to understand, it don't matter. It's your fault. And that's what happened to Adam. But Eve, even though you got to understand when you do wrong, what you do to others comes back to you. It may be justified. There is that gray area of black and white. But when you do something wrong, it comes back to you. And when it comes back to you, it can come back in various ways. And it might be big or little. If you take somebody else out the game, and off this plane of earth, please know it's going to be big. But if you steal somebody's woman or you steal somebody's man, you going to have a hit, but you ain't going to die. You just got to deal with it. But it might be a sacrifice you're willing to take because what you were doing was for the greater good or the plan you choose. Because God gives us choices. You got to understand at the end of the day, you really got to look back over your life and say, did I have a choice before you say blame this, that, and the other. And when you try to settle on somebody else, I guarantee you if you keep going back, you're going to end up on you because how did you get here? You can't say, oh, they snitched. You can't say, oh, they did that. You can't say, oh, my boss mean because you ain't had to choose that job. Well, I didn't want to do that, so it came back to you. Well, nobody's willing to hire me. What jobs are you applying for? I ain't about to work, so it comes back to you. Well, she ain't doing this. Well, when is the last time? But I'm tired, so it comes back to you. You got to find your root. So we understand that a lot of the menfolk issue come from the fact that they don't know. Nobody sat down and told them the story was false. A lot of issues the women folk come from is they don't know. They don't know. Somebody didn't tell them the story was false. See, women folk think we was out here with snakes in the grass. We weren't, ladies. He was a man. He probably was a centaur. And that was the problem. Adam was like, a centaur? Heck nah. And then he pitched a whole fit. God overheard it, came down and said, what's going on? He found out what's going on. Eve sitting there looking like, well, call the other girl, Adam, because where was you when this going on? Centaur come around here all the time. Where you been at? Adam in the fields by himself? Because why centaur by itself? Is there a centaur girl? Adam out there with the most biggest, voluptuous, and Eve a little slender thing. She just getting here. She fruits and berries and stuff. So Adam out there with a voluptuous little centaur that's out here eating some good stuff. And then the old centaur, he done came out because he see what's going on. He said, I'm about to fix this. I was good to that girl. And Adam, you got a good wife. And y'all out here like this. So now he hanging out with Eve on some old, I just trying to be there for you. I don't want to tell you. I ain't trying to hurt your heart. You a good woman. Eve like, cool. And then stuff happen. Men folk know stuff happen because they unhappy at home. Women folk know stuff happen because the man ain't home. All right? So you look up and now Centaur and Eve then got caught. Adam pitching a fit. But because the sneaky female ain't never going to be in the picture. That's why we don't know nothing about the female centaur. She ain't even in the picture. She's so sneaky, right? She already knows she's second fiddle. She know what she got at home. But see, centaurs, they big and bad. For the centaurs being big and bad, they want the bad body ones. And then when the bad body ones doing wrong, then they want the wholesome ones. So that's what happened to Centaur. That's how he ended up over there with Eve. But he already knew his girl wasn't worth nothing. She over there with Adam. So now they got a good man that just did some stuff and he was just feeling himself. You got to understand genetics. It just is what it is. Ain't no trying to change nothing. Understand who you with. Unless you want to be with, you a female, want to be with the female centaur, a man want to be the male centaur. Even then, you still got to understand yourself. So then you understand the image of yourself. Okay, your reflection. Trey Songz, that joker. That's what you got to do. So now they together. Now they going out here picking fruits and berries. Centaur said, get on my back. You can ride me, all this type of stuff. She ain't never been able to do that. She ain't never had a strong, dark-skinned centaur. She ain't never. So in the midst of it, they going to lunch. She ain't been on dates since creation, since she popped out the rib. Ain't been on a date since then. That was her date. Let me help you get here. And he said, well, I gave you life. That's all men folk. I gave you life. Ain't you happy? And that's why women folk started saying it, because that's where it came from. We heard it from Adam first. Now we say it to all our kids. Adam told us, I gave you life. I came from your rib. And you want to kick him in the booty hole because you like, sir. And you ain't gave me nothing else since then. Don't we got all this land? What you mean? I'm working on this land just like you. So here comes Centaur Man. Centaur Man is fine. He done been through some things and now he appreciate a good woman. She been holding off. But this was the day. I bet you it was their anniversary or birthday. This was the day Adam and Eve was supposed to do something. And Adam then flew his little butt somewhere. And Eve said, that's it. And it just so happens, Centaur Man, because that's how God works. God, if the person is messing up, male or female, God will say, you ain't got to stay there. I'm going to slowly move you out the right way. Except Eve and Centaur, they jumped the gun. Remember, they the first. They learning. We should not be repeating their mistakes centuries and centuries later. They should be free to have these mistakes. They didn't know that they needed time to heal and understand creation. What they thought is, let's just go do this. They fresh. They like teenagers. So they went and did it. Adam caught them. Adam started snitching. Next thing you know, Jesus, God down here, because Jesus ain't here yet, y'all. See, pay attention to your religion. Jesus ain't here. God came on down and he said, I see y'all, since all y'all want to act up, you wrong. Get on your belly. Because you been acting up. This was your last redemption. You should have waited till I divorced her. All right? Adam, I don't even want to talk to you because you over here being slick because you ain't get caught. So I ain't going to snitch you out. But you ain't get caught. But now, since you want to be out in the streets, work in the streets your life. I need you working the whole life. Since you wanted to work with all these women, now you're working. Eve, you see what happened? I was going to make this an easy creation of life thing. Now you got to figure out how to make it easy. Now you're going to have to go back to the ocean and be in the water and home birthing and get back to your roots. Because you was a good woman, Eve, and I understood what you was going through. Because that wasn't a good man, Savannah. Okay, you was a good woman, Eve. But you got to feel it. Because right is wrong is wrong. You was still committed. Why you ain't come talk to me, girl? because he was whispering in your ear. I was trying to change him, but he's still a player. And then we know Adam won't want nothing. He still was growing. You know the woman got to work with that man. But yeah, I was getting on to him. I was going to give you proof. I was about to make electronics. You was going to be able to find text messages and everything like that. But you're doing too much. So you got to bear the pain of childbirth. But I need them to know you still are beautiful and you will always be. Because I heard him say that you want nothing but he gave you his rib. Won't you be happy? He didn't tell you I did that for him, right? So just because of that, he can't get his rib repeated no more unless it come from you. There you go. And that's how the story went. I forgot what I started with, but I don't know. Hopefully somebody got something out of that. Yes, my God. You know, the one that is over the universe and life and every planet there is, that it was before creation was created. Okay, I would love to get a chance to talk to him and see his origin story. Did you just float out here one day and say, I guess I'll be big? And then you got bored? Do you ever wonder how you floated out here? Thank you for the Inspirational Religion TED Talk that I don't know where it got started from, but we're here. All right, if I play this back and remember, maybe we'll do a part 2. Maybe we'll have a discussion session and y'all can pick and run through everything I said, because I jump subjects when it's time to talk. I try to remember where I'm going, but it's just like I keep taking right turn and they ain't left turns because they're supposed to come out. So it's right turn and right turn and right turn. Somebody fix me. Or take notes, because it's so much information that's trying to flow out of me at once, like I'm not going to talk anymore. And that's my concern. And that's why I record everything. Love you guys.